Welcome to the 2021 Pitch for Pinicle competition, an international event showcasing the innovative work of patient organisations across the globe. Now here is your host for today's event, MC Aman from Singapore.
Hello everybody, ni hao, konnichiwa, annyeonghaseyo, marhaba, ahlan wa sahlan, and welcome. My name is Aman Mohammed, and I'm going to be your MC for today's event. Now, today I can see we have a wide audience from around the world. We have people from Taiwan, India, South Africa, Hong Kong, South Korea, Singapore, and many others. So before we kick off today's exciting event, I'd like to pass the floor over to Richard, the Chief Executive of Rare Cancers Australia and the Pinicle Program, for some opening remarks. Richard?
Welcome everyone to the Pitch for Pinicle event. My name's Richard Vines and I'm the Chief Executive of Rare Cancers Australia. We're starting the Pinicle program to provide a place for learning, connecting, collaborating and sharing across patient organisations internationally. The key purpose of the Pinicle program is for our members to learn and grow together as peers and ultimately better support our patients. We've had an incredible year with Pinicle in 2021. We now have more than 300 members who've joined our community from over 25 different countries. This diversity in our membership is something we're very proud of and plan to continue building. One of the key things we've been focusing on this year is increasing the accessibility of our Pinicle resources. Our Pinicle playbook is now available in 8 different languages, and simultaneous interpretation has been made available for our recent workshops as well as the live stream event. Today's event is available in English, Arabic, Mandarin Chinese and Korean, and also Vietnamese. We will be working to ensure everything Pinicle has to offer can reach as many organisations across the globe as possible. This year we're also excited to launch our latest initiative, Pitch for Pinicle. Over the last few months, 6 teams have been working tirelessly with carefully matched coaches to develop their product ideas and perfect their pitches. With access to expert sessions in marketing, communication, presentation and negotiation. These are valuable skills that can be used to drive their organisation forward after the competition ends. If this structured mentoring and support is something your patient organisation could benefit from, along with the top prize of $15,000, we encourage you to apply for next year's event. We want it to be bigger and better and smarter. In the meantime, we hope you enjoy each team's pitches today and find them inspiring and stimulate your thoughts as to how you can make a real difference to patients in your country. And finally, I'd like to thank our wonderful sponsors for making the event possible. Thank you to Amgen, AstraZeneca, Bristol Myers Squibb, Janssen, MSD, Novartis, Pfizer and Roche. For your sponsorship of the Pinicle program, your support has gone into building stronger patient organisations for the patients of today and the patients of tomorrow all over the world. And an extra special thank you to Janssen and BMS for funding the top prize for the Pitch for Pinicle event today, which will really make one team's dream a reality. On behalf of the Pinicle team and Rare Cancers Australia, we thank you for your ongoing support. And now, without further ado, let's get this event started. So over to you, Aman.
Thank you very much, Richard. Now that you all know why we're here today and how the show is going to go, let's get the show on the road. Today, we're going to be listening to 6 Pitch for Pinicle teams on their exciting projects. Here are our 6 teams competing in today's competition. Team 1 is Can Support from India. Okay, so make some noise for your team if you support them. I mean, we can't hear you, but it's fine. Wherever you are, please clap and cheer for them so that they can feel that love, they can feel that energy, okay? So as I said, team number 1 is Can Support from India. Team number 2 is King Hussein Cancer Foundation from Jordan. Team number 3 is Rare Diseases South Africa. Team 4 is Yonsol Care from South Korea. Team 5 is Hope Foundation for Cancer Care from Taiwan. And last but not least, we have Team 6, Breast Cancer Network from Vietnam. Each team will present and have a Q&A session with the judges. Then at the end, we're going to announce who will go home with the grand prize of $15,000 in grant money. Now that we know how the day is going to run, I'd like to introduce our expert judging panel, who will be deciding on the winner of today's competition. First up, we have Fiona Palmer. Fiona Palmer is an experienced commercial leader within the pharmaceutical healthcare sector. Her most recent role was leading a team focused on making innovative treatments available to Australian patients with blood cancers. She's worked across numerous therapy areas, including HIV and hepatitis. Fiona is a graduate of the Australian Institute of Company Directors, a member of the Fundraising Institute of Australia, and holds a Bachelor of Applied Science in Medical Laboratory Science. She's currently on the board of Cerebral Palsy Network, including as a member of the Human Rights Committee, and was previously on the board of Palliative Care Victoria, as well as a member of the Finance, Risk, and Audit Committee. Fiona brings the health and pharmaceutical industry experience to our judging panel today. Next, we have Dr. Kathy True. Dr. Kathy is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Medicine at the University of New South Wales and a research fellow at the George Institute for Global Health. Kathy brings a wealth of knowledge and experience in international public health, particularly in chronic diseases. She's worked alongside the World Health Organization, governments, and NGOs across the world through her research. Kathy brings the international public health and research experience to our judging panel today. And last but not least, you've met him already, we have Richard Vines. In 2012, Richard and his wife, Kate, established Rare Cancers Australia, a patient advocacy group whose mission is to improve the lives and health outcomes for rare cancer patients. Since the formation of RCA, the organization has become recognized as a key participant in the broader cancer and patient organization community. Richard is the chair and chief executive of Rare Cancers Australia and will bring the patient organization perspective to the judging panel. So, based on that, let's get the show started. Now, just a very quick viewer warning. As we go through today's pitches and some of the team's presentations, I want to take a moment to let everyone know that some of the presentations do contain imagery of patients going through treatment and recovery, which may be difficult for some viewers. So viewer discretion is advised. The first team to present for Pitch for Pinicle will be Can Support from India. Can Support provides a free home-based palliative care program, as well as outpatient clinics, daycare centers, training, counseling, and other support services for patients in India. Let's take a look at their pitch right now.
A very big hello from Can Support India. I am Dr. Ambika Rajvanshi, CEO of the organization, with a passionate commitment to making challenging journeys with cancer more manageable, meaningful, and memorable.
Hi, I am Savita Luka, Nursing Director at Can Support. I have the unique
force of a few specialists in palliative care. We are proposing a one-year pilot project to promote a learning experience in the principles and practices of palliative care for 1,000 medical and nursing undergraduate students and equip them with the key tools to offer effective, compassionate care for the seriously ill in their own unique practice settings, regardless of their future specialty. We believe that the younger we can educate them, the better we will be able to develop value-based skills and attitudes towards the care for such patients. The project will run in partnership with 10 medical and nursing colleges in the National Capital Region of India. Each group of 50 trainees will receive a 5-day learning experience with a team of senior experts across various settings. The key objectives will be to equip them with basic skills and tools in effective delivery of palliative care, improve quality of their interactions with patients, and promote a work culture that is sensitive to the unique needs of patients and families. In addition, a resource handbook will be published for the trainees. Pre and post-intervention impact assessment tools will be deployed to measure change. Our key success factors would be to achieve a score of greater than 70% in the baseline knowledge of key messages in palliative care, a confidence rating scale of greater than 6 on 10 in delivery of palliative care, at least 3,000 patients and caregivers helped through learned principles and practices, and at least 500 patients referred to CanSupport for specialized palliative care. As a result of this hands-on experience, it is expected that trainees will have increased sensitization to the total pain and concept of good quality of life, thereby fostering a positive can-do attitude in the care of the severely ill. Training will enhance competence in management of pain and distressing symptoms, especially in use of oral opioids, as well as handling difficult communications around death and dying. We are hopeful that in the long term, it will lead to early integration of palliative care in management of serious illnesses with increased referrals and therefore better access to palliative care. The project will be the first step towards investing in and equipping the new generation to become positive agents of change and adding an army of palliative care providers to a few scattered specialists in the field. Its success will act as a catalyst for potential grant makers to support its expansion both in scope and scale for widespread and sustainable outcome. The project will help develop an evidence-based research study towards advocacy for integration of palliative care in the undergraduate medical and nursing curriculum, thereby filling the wide gap of access to palliative care.
Wow, that's quite a pitch from CanSupport India. I honestly, I think it's a great initiative because a lot of us are concerned with the treatment of cancer, but there's not much emphasis placed on the palliative care, what follows after the treatment is over, making their life as comfortable as possible. And all of these things do make a difference in the overall health, happiness, and outcome for the patient. I'd now like to just check with the judges and see what their thoughts are with regards to the pitch that we've just seen. Perhaps, Kathy, we'll start with you as a senior lecturer of Faculty of Medicine. What do you think of their pitch? How important really is palliative care, and why is this pitch so impactful for you?
Yeah, thank you so much. And what a great presentation. It's such an important topic, obviously affecting a huge proportion of the population in India. So such an important project. And I think it's really great that you're empowering the medical students and then the nursing students for them to sort of, build that into their work culture and also inspire other students around them. I think it's such an important project. So thank you for that.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Kathy. Fiona, what are your thoughts from the pharmaceutical perspective on palliative care? What do you think the impact of this pitch would be?
Thanks, Aman. That was a beautiful articulation of such a challenging area and such a great solution that's being proposed. I did have one question for the team. You've got a really thorough stepwise phasing in how you're going to roll this out, and you're working with different colleges, and having that whole hands-on approach I think is so important. How do you see the difficulty in getting those management teams of the colleges to sort of go this journey with you and get that hands-on experience for the attendees as well? Do you think that will be challenging or really good buy-in?
Right. Thank you, Fiona, for that question. The concept of this project actually came from the nursing and medical colleges because they could clearly see this gap. And therefore, it was at their request that we've been thinking about putting this project in place. Because of this opportunity that we have from Pinicle, we will be able to make it a reality for these colleges and ultimately the students and therefore the patients who will benefit from this.
Okay, well done. Thank you very much. That's a great answer. Richard, do you have any questions for CanSport India? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would. Thank you. I would just like to, add my thought to it. Beautifully presented and a really, really important project, not only in India but certainly in Australia and around the world. I would think it's such a delicate subject, and I think we all can. I think that all of us at some time have sat there and thought that we spend a lot of time with healthcare professionals teaching them how to cure people, how to save lives, but we don't often spend enough time in their study teaching them how to end lives or how to help people whose lives are going to end in a dignified and peaceful manner. So I thought that was great. I wondered if I could just ask two questions. One is that around do you see how would this roll out in the use of, obviously at end of life for cancer patients, opioid pain relief is quite critical, and whether there are challenges there that part of the program would address, both in the use of and the comfort factor that families particularly have of people being of their loved ones being given opioid pain relief. And the other one, which is entirely different, was would the course ultimately form part of the curriculum to the point of that there is a qualification component of it? I guess that, if you know what I mean, it's like, would they be tested on it, and would it be compulsory for them as part of the thing?
Right. Thank you, Richard. Answering your second question first, because it is more technical. Regarding our project, we are definitely going to have a pre and a post intervention assessment of whether it has really been able to make a difference in terms of their knowledge and in confidence in providing palliative care, because that would be our base model of taking this to various stakeholders, whether they want to replicate it either in scope or scale in their own areas of influence, or using it as an advocacy tool for the medical and the nursing councils of India to have this curriculum integrated into their teaching as well. So naturally, if it forms a part of the curriculum, then they will be graded on it, and it will be part of their examination. We can certainly hope so. And coming back to your first question about the families, so while training in palliative care is about increasing the competence in managing pain and symptoms, but it is also about nurturing them as compassionate care providers, not just for the patients, but for the family caregivers as well. In India, the patient never comes alone to a hospital or is never treated alone. The family is always a part of it. So when you extend palliative care, it goes not only to the patient, but the entire family, and helps them, add life to the days of their patients, and also helps make the families manage with and cope with the condition far better. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
I think it does, yeah. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, judges, as well as thank you to Can Support India for sharing their pitch as well as answering the questions. I truly believe that, having an investment into palliative care allows patients to finish their journey in a dignified manner, and I think that's worthwhile and worth looking into. So, let's move on to the next team and have a look at their pitch. This is King Hussein Cancer Foundation from Jordan. The King Hussein Cancer Foundation is dedicated to saving lives with the highest standards of comprehensive cancer care and control. They engage society in the fight against cancer in Jordan and in the region. Let's take a look at their pitch.
What if you wake up one day and discover a swelling on the side of your breast? You would probably visit your doctor for a consultation and get several tests done.
What if you're a woman with no medical insurance and limited access to money? And what if reaching a doctor or a hospital was extremely difficult?
Now, imagine that you were diagnosed with breast cancer and you had to fight cancer under these circumstances. What would you do?
When I discovered my cancer, I was 42 years old. Of course, it's very scareful information or news, especially that my youngest son was only 2 years, and my oldest daughter, she was 7 years. So the feeling is always that I don't know if they will see their mother later, or I will see them when they are grown-ups. So that was the most difficult thought I had at that time.
Jordan is a low-income country that is surrounded by war zones and is overwhelmed with a high influx of refugees. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in women and overall in Jordan. One of the biggest issues faced in fighting breast cancer is the lack of knowledge, awareness, and acceptance among the population of early detection and preventative practices. For years, there was a lack of screening and early detection services in Jordan, so naturally, there was a sharp increase in the number of cancer cases and cancer patients seeking treatment at the King Hussein Cancer Center. The Jordan Breast Cancer Program was established to coordinate early detection efforts across Jordan, to provide screening services to women and raise public awareness about breast cancer. This is why JBCP is planning a comprehensive social and behavioral change community outreach project in the Zarqa Governorate, Jordan's third most populated area with a large number of underprivileged families. Over the course of 6 months, our trained community-embedded health workers will target 3,500 women aged 40 years and above for community activities and educational lectures, of which 600 women will be targeted for mammography referrals. Ultimately, we are seeking to reduce the number of late-stage breast cancer diagnoses and to create a culture of acceptance.
As you know, breast cancer will not wait for you to decide when you want them to hit your body. Kindly do the early detection test. It is very crucial and it's very important. Even if you don't have the support from your family or close friends and your loved ones, trust me, you need to know. You will have the strength to fight it, and wherever you are having a breast cancer treatment, they will give you all the support they need.
Women truly are the heart of a community. They provide love, safety, and security for their families. It is our moral duty to support all those seeking treatment for cancer, including refugees and underprivileged patients who do not have anywhere else to go. Our mission is to improve the lives and health outcomes of those in Jordan through creating patient communities, advocacy, patient support, fundraising, treatment, research, and early detection.
We need to work together because cancer
does not wait.
Wow, a very compelling pitch there from our team from Jordan. And I totally agree, right? Especially with breast cancer, this is one of those things that, like any cancer, the earlier you detect it, the faster you can treat it, the easier it's going to be. And of course, we have to remove that stigma that's associated with breast cancer and remove, all those boundaries that stop the ladies from, proactively seeking it, and fostering a culture, a positive mindset culture towards this. I think is a beautiful movement. Fiona, what are your thoughts regarding this particular pitch?
Thanks, Aman, and thanks, team. I think it was such a powerful way to show what education can do for health outcomes, and breast cancer is such an important area. I hadn't realised the mortality rate was so high in Jordan, so that was really elucidating for me. One of the things that you're talking about was providing access for underprivileged or maybe refugee women into the program through that awareness of screening. How will you then link those patients who are diagnosed with breast cancer back into the care system when they may not have the means to fund it themselves? Is that part of the program as well?
Well, as you know, many refugee women and underprivileged ones, they lack insurance. So what we do, if we cannot take them in for treatment, we usually facilitate their treatment in other governmental hospitals we have a royal bureau in Jordan. It's by royal decree from His Majesty, and we can facilitate funding for their treatment in one of the governmental hospitals.
All right, great answer there, Tala. Okay, let's move on to Richard Vines. Richard, do you have any questions for Tala regarding their initiative?
Yeah, look, again, Tala, fantastic initiative. My heart just breaks watching and thinking what you guys are trying to solve. It's beautiful and it's fantastic. I wonder, I have done some work in another country, not yours, but where the problem. There were two problems. One was screening, and the other was the cultural and religious limitations that made it very difficult, given the emphasis on modesty, to actually screen women. And I wonder if part of what you're doing will help to overcome that, because I can only imagine that issue is very prominent in some of the areas in which you're working, and. In that instance, it was very hard to do mammography, but it was easier to do physical examinations to test and things like that. So I just wonder if you could speak to that for a bit.
Well, I think you would know, since you've been in a similar culture, so I think you're familiar. We have many barriers to overcome. Breaking the stigma around breast cancer is a very huge issue in our region, especially that cancer is the most common cancer in Jordan, not just in women. Overall, it's very common, unfortunately. And many women avoid seeking screening services to avoid having her husband leaving her or divorcing her or marrying a second wife. Polygamy can be common in our region. So many women end up diagnosed at a very, very late stage. It's almost impossible for them to survive at this point. So what we're trying to do is provide education for the community overall, and not just women. That's one thing. And another thing is to show that once you get early screening, there's a very high chance for you for a long remission period, treatment, cure. We try to provide our services all over the country. Our outreach during our campaign, during the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, extends to over 1 million people. We're really trying to provide women with this service to empower them, to make them stronger in their communities, educating other women as well, like creating health workers that can reach their own communities in their own region, especially that Jordan has the highest refugee count per capita. This is very surprising considering a country with no natural resources, no income, and it's a really small country. And we had a quick jump from 5 million people as a population to 10 million. We have Syrians, Iraqis, Palestinians, and several other nationalities of refugees. So we feel really challenged, but at the same time, it is our duty having breast cancer as the most common cancer in Jordan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tala. We're just about out of time. I just want to say I really enjoy the initiative. I think that as a society, we have to start from somewhere, and I think this is a great beginning. So all the best to you and your team. All right, let's move on to the next team. So we're going to introduce the next team. The next team is Rare Diseases South Africa. Rare Diseases South Africa advocates to ensure that people living with rare diseases and congenital disorders experience great recognition, support, improved health services, and better overall quality of life. Let's listen to what their project is all about.
Hi, I'm Kelly Duplessis, and I'm the founder and CEO of Rare Diseases South Africa. As an organization, we focus largely on patient advocacy, community engagement, research, and patient navigation. One of the critical factors that we are currently dealing with in South Africa is the lack of available data. We do not have information available to be able to push our government into funding rare diseases. We also don't have an idea of where these patients are, how they're being treated and looked after, what information is available to them, simply because of the fact that our surveillance systems are so poor. We have got publications from the National Department of Health that indicate that surveillance in South Africa is underreported by up to 98%. That is catastrophic implications for a patient who is dying and waiting for treatment. So one of our intended solutions and our whole reason for pitching today is that we are aiming to develop a robust patient-led patient registry. The difference with this registry, in terms of normal clinical registries, is that we do not want a heavy reliance on clinicians in terms of putting in values and maintaining the registry. One of the big challenges that we currently face with regards to clinical registries that are available in South Africa at the moment is the fact that many of our clinicians are too resource constrained and overwhelmed to be able to maintain and update that data regularly. If we can develop this patient-led registry, it'll allow us to allow patients to be involved in putting their data forward, having their numbers heard and counted, and ensuring that patient-led research can take place.
In the past days, looting has spread from stores to factories and warehouses, ransacking and rioting in South Africa's worst violence since apartheid. From the eastern provinces of KwaZulu-Natal to Johannesburg's economic hub.
All of the doors are open. People are walking in.
There was no room on the road which wraps itself around the port of Durban. It had been turned into a thoroughfare for raiders and thieves as they ransacked warehouses and distribution centres.
One of the big things that we learned, particularly this year, is how patients also have a desperate need to be able to maintain and keep their own clinical information and records. South Africa, unfortunately, is one of the countries that still relies predominantly on a paper-based medical file. And as a result of that, very, very often patients, when they're transferring service areas, moving to new facilities, they do actually not have access to the necessary information that they are required to have in order for them to be able to get taken care of correctly. As a result of this, one of the elements that we are planning on using within this patient-led registry is to have a continuous healthcare record element. We think that this will be the definition of a patient-centric patient registry, but also we hope that that addition will be what drives patients to continuously use and update their information on this registry. So the registry essentially will cover two desperate areas that are needing assessment and evaluation in South Africa. One being the reporting structure and surveillance, which will help us improve our advocacy. And the second being, it will give these patients an opportunity to be able to keep their patient records on a system that is cloud-based, where they are able to access it and share it with clinicians as necessary, but also where they are able to track and better understand their patient journey. And we think the introduction of this registry will not only go on to save lives, but it'll ensure that nobody gets left behind.
We passionately believe this initiative and the outcomes we are delivering will fundamentally change the health and lives of millions of South Africans. From better health records for all, to enabling the understanding and surveillance of rare and lesser known diseases, as well as enabling a safe and secure method of keeping health information in a portable and accessible manner. With the support of the Pinicle program, as well as assistance from the wider community, we can achieve these changes more rapidly and get the solution where it needs to be, in the hands of the people.
Wow, what an interesting and unique proposition from Rare Diseases South Africa. And I think that this is one of those things that we don't really think about, right? How things run on the back end. How are records kept? How are they updated? How are they, maintained with integrity so that patients are able to get access to healthcare faster and more accurately as well? So, I'm very interested in this. I think this is really, really cool. Let's have a look at what the judges think. So maybe we can start with Richard. What are your thoughts with regards to their particular initiative on patient records and moving it to the cloud and stuff like that?
Look, I'm an old tech head from the 20th century, so I think this is a really exciting project, and I think it's great that it's empowering patients. Kelly, well done to you. We've in Australia, we implemented an electronic health record through the government, and everyone's done their absolute best not to use it. So I think putting it in the hands of patients is a really clever idea. I was wondering, I imagine that part of this is around mobile device usage, and I wondered how widespread mobile usage is in South Africa. I imagine it's quite extreme. And the other one that I had was, I wondered if you've had any feedback from clinicians and what level of enthusiasm they have for it.
Thanks very much, Richard. So to answer your first question with regards to mobile applications, we actually have a ridiculously high use of smart devices in South Africa. We would anticipate that it would be lower, but it is the primary form of communication. So we anticipate that every patient will be able to have access to a smart device. One of the issues does come back to connectivity and data usage, and we do have plans to make this registry housed on a free data usage site so that you're not requiring the huge elements of data to be able to access it. With regards to the second element to your question, the uptake from clinicians has been very, very positive, simply because they also feel overwhelmed by being the primary drivers at the moment for maintaining of these clinical registries, which to their own admission, it's impossible for them to keep up with the workload, given that they are so constrained from a capacity perspective already. So they are really, really happy to see it. The one concern that was raised was with regards to accuracy of data, but we have implemented certain processes and procedures to try and overcome that, whereby clinicians are able to, via a link, verify. Once a patient has inputted data, the clinician is able to verify it, and only then is it recognized as verified data. So the patients can do all the hard work in terms of the administration and uploading of information, and the clinicians can ultimately then just verify.
Yeah, fantastic. I think it has application beyond South Africa too, which is something we might talk about.
Very, very cool. Very interesting. Thank you, Kelly and Richard. Kathy, from a medical perspective, what do you think about this, getting patients to update their own medical records, and how do you think this lends itself, in the medical world?
Thanks, Aman, and thank you, Kelly. What a great idea. I think we underestimate the value of registry sometimes, but in research it's so important. And in your presentation, you mentioned there was sort of a 98% underestimation rate for rare diseases, and I think that's just so compelling, but also quite unbelievable. So I think your idea is excellent. I just wanted to ask, could you share more information about, how this registry is then going to improve outcomes for rare cancer, rare disease patients?
So essentially, the thinking is that we can't help them if we don't know that they're there. And if they haven't been accounted for in the system, then certainly they're not going to receive the access. We in a catch-22 situation where we are trying to get recognition from government, but at the same time, we're needing to show them that there is a reason to prioritize us. So we're needing the data to be able to actually further our advocacy efforts. So the intention will be that once we can start accounting for these patients, we'll be able to use those numbers to better advocate and to get recognition and services approved.
Great.
All right, very cool. Thank you, Kelly and Kathy. Fiona, we only have 40 seconds on the clock. Any thoughts?
Really quickly, love the idea of registries. Do you see that there would be a de-identified way that pharmaceutical companies could access the data so that they can include it when they're doing their funding submissions?
So the data that will be housed on the clinical registry will be de-identified with the primary intention of it being allowed to be used for research purposes on the premise that the patient has consented for that particular thing. So there is a way to de-identify access. We haven't had much thoughts in particular to pharmaceuticals, but more so in the research space.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Kelly and Fiona. All right. Wow, what a project. Very ambitious, and I think would lend itself to quite a bit of benefit to the people. All right, let's move on to our next team's presentation. We have our next team from South Korea, Yonsul Care. Yonsul Care offers social and economic support to cancer patients and survivors. One of its main aims is to change how the public in Korea views cancer, and in turn reduce stigma and prejudice. Let's see how they plan to do that with their project. Now bear in mind this presentation will be spoken in Korean with English subtitles. Let's take a look.
안녕하십니까. 윤슬케어 대표 정승훈입니다. 윤슬케어는 한국에 있는 사회적 기업으로 치유 프로젝트와 상품, 서비스 개발을 통해 암 환자가 겪는 사회 문제를 공론화하고 있습니다. 또한 이 문제를 해결하기 위해 다양한 프로젝트를 진행을 하고 있는데요. 모델 워킹과 연극 치료를 통해서 당당한 사회 복귀를 돕는 암호 모델 프로젝트를 진행한 바 있습니다. 또한 치료 중에 지친 마음을 회복시키는 힐링 다이어리 암보다 강한 당신을 개발하고 판매하고 있는데요. 더불어 선배 환우의 투병 경험을 전하는 멘토링과 보호자 대신 통원 치료를 돕는 동행 서비스를 제공하고 있습니다. 2012년 22살의 저는 버킨 림프종을 진단받았습니다. 사실 치료도 힘들었지만 치료 이후에 사회 복귀하는 것이 더 어렵게 느껴졌는데요. 실제 채용 과정에서 면접관이 이런 질문을 했습니다. 암 환자가 일을 할 수 있나요? 그때 저는 큰 사건을 경험했기 때문에 건강에 대한 소중함도 알고 있고 일에 대한 소중함도 잘 알고 있다고 답했습니다. 그래서 건강관리도 더 잘할 거라고 이야기했죠. 하지만 회사에서는 그 만에 하나 재발한다면 그 손실은 누가 책임지느냐라는 질문을 통해 저에게 암 진단보다 더 큰 좌절을 경험하게 했습니다. 시간이 흐르고 저와 비슷한 질환의 환자들과 멘토링을 하고 자조 모임을 하면서 제가 겪었던 그 사회 복귀의 어려움이 개인의 문제가 아닌 우리 사회가 해결해야 될 문제라는 걸 깨닫게 되었습니다. 그래서 상품화된 만들어진 것이 어느 날 암이 찾아왔습니다입니다. 전 국민에게 익숙한 대입 수능 시험지와 같은 형태로 제작이 되었는데요. 뭔가 집중해서 풀어야 될 것 같은 기분이 들지 않나요? 실제 암 환자가 진단부터 사회 복귀하는 과정에서 겪게 되는 문제 상황을 40가지 문제로 만들었습니다. 예를 들어 암 진단 후에 나는 어떤 행동을 첫 번째로 할 것인가, 또는 직장 동료가 회사에 복직을 한다면 나는 어떤 행동을 할 것인가 같이 다양한 상황과 여러 선택지를 통해 이 시험지를 풀어볼 수 있게 만들었습니다. 하지만 시험지에는 정답이 없습니다. 개인의 성향과 가치관에 따라 답이 달라지기 때문입니다. 이처럼 우리는 서로 다른 배려의 모습을 가지고 있습니다. 그러나 상대방, 환자에게는 묻지 않고 자신의 배려 방법으로 호의를 베풀곤 합니다. 그래서 의도하지 않았던 갈등을 발생시키기도 하는데요. 우리는 이 상품을 기업 교육에 활용하려고 합니다. 기업의 조직, 그 구성원이 함께 문제를 풀고 자기의 생각을 공유함으로써 우리가 어떤 배려의 모습을 가지고 있는지 나누게 됩니다. 더불어 환자가 기업에서 이용할 수 있는 복지제도를 올바르게 확인하고 인지할 수 있도록 돕고 회사 내에 있는 규정과 제도가 채우지 못한 영역을 조직 문화로 보완하려고 합니다. 마지막으로 환자와 함께 일하기 위해 합리적 배려 지침서를 개발함으로써 조직의 구성원이 주도적으로 만들어 나가는 조직 문화를 조성할 수 있습니다. 어느 날 암이 찾아왔습니다는 지난 9월에 개발되어 개인과 의료기관에 판매되고 있습니다. 이 3, 4개월 동안에 300세트가 판매가 되었고요. 기업교육 워크숍 프로토타입을 개발해서 더 많은 환자, 더 많은 조직에 이 가치를 전달하려고 하고 있습니다. 다양한 규모와 업종, 기업에 워크숍을 제공하고 100가지 합리적 배려 지침서를 개발하는 것이 저희의 목표인데요. 우리는 이 100가지 합리적 배려 지침서를 융합하여 우리 사회가 합리적 배려를 제공할 수 있는 지침서를 만들어 나가려고 하고 있습니다. 한국에는 정부에서 발행하는 육아휴직 복귀 지원 프로그램 활용 가이드라인이 있습니다. 출산과 육아, 그리고 이 이후에 복직을 마치는 과정을 원활하게 돕기 위해 제도적으로 장려하는 가이드라인입니다. 우리는 이 워크숍을 통해서 만들어진 합리적 배려 지침서가 암 환자의 사회 복귀를 돕는 가이드라인이 되기를 간절히 바라고 있습니다. 연말까지 5개 기업의 이 테스트 워크숍을 진행을 하려고 하고 있고요. 워크숍 이후에 이 서비스 고도화를 통해서 내년부터는 많은 기업에 서비스를 제공하려고 하고 있습니다. 2월부터 서비스 강사를 양성해서 연말까지 100개의 기업을 섭외하려고 하고 있습니다. 만약 계획대로 진행된다면 10월 이전에 목표를 달성할 수 있을 것이고 우리는 연말까지 이 합리적 배려 지침서를 정부에 전달하는 것이 목표입니다. 아직 한국은 암과 죽음에 대해서 이야기하기엔 다소 경직된 분위기를 가지고 있습니다. 이 어느 날 암이 찾아왔습니다를 통해 그리고 합리적 배려 지침서를 만든 이 계기를 통해서 보다 폭넓은 사회적 논의가 시작되었으면 간절히 바라고 있습니다. 발표를 마치겠습니다.
Wow, what an amazing pitch from Yunsil Care. Trying to solve the problem of stigma and prejudice surrounding the diagnosis of cancer, and his story of what happened during the interview, I think speaks about a larger issue, a larger societal issue that many of us just don't see. And ultimately, the patients who underwent the trauma and hardship of cancer are reminded of it all over again. Let's talk to the judges and let's see what thoughts they have and if they have any questions for Yunsil Care. Perhaps we will start with Dr. Kathy. Do you have any thoughts or any questions regarding Yunsil Care's initiative?
Thanks, Aman. That was an excellent pitch. It's such an important issue, to help cancer patients return to work. And thank you for sharing your story in that pitch as well. I just have one question. How will you incentivize workplaces and organizations to attend these excellent workshops that you're holding?
That's a great question, Kathy. Let's give the Korean team some time to respond.
합리적 배려 지침서와 합리적 배려 워크숍에 참여한 기업들을 저희가 인증하고 참여했던 기업들.
We will be certifying the companies that participate in the workshops and in creating the Rational Consideration Guidebook for the workplace, and also create a list of company names that have participated in the process. We will be putting this list of certified companies on hiring websites for employees to see. This will show future employees that their company has great support and culture for cancer patients.
Thank you, Seung-hoon. Kathy, do you have, does that answer the question? Do you have any additional thoughts?
No, thank you. That's a really great response. Thanks.
Excellent. Fiona, perhaps you can share with us your perspective from a pharmaceutical standpoint. How do you think the impact of their workshops could be associated with the pharmaceutical space?
Thanks, Saman. I was really fascinated to read this proposal, or to see this proposal, and to think about return to work not just as a health issue, but as a social issue as well. So that was really enlightening, particularly for me. A little bit to Kathy's point was, do you have a list of companies already that you will go out and proactively target? And then how will you develop that other list of companies to target quite quickly? I understand how you're proposing to put it on their website, but will that be very active from the organisation's part?
I think that's a great question, Fiona. Let's give the Korean team some time to respond.
지금 윤슬케어에서는 사회적 경제 기업, ESG에서도 SF 특히 관심을 가지고 있는 기업을 대상으로
We have been first focusing on companies that have shown interest in social enterprises to roll out the initial workshops. There are 2 pharmaceutical companies, one large corporation, and another social enterprise that are currently involved in the process to create a more inclusive working culture in Korea. These companies want to improve social outlook and employment security for cancer patients.
And so they are promoting that when cancer survivors apply for jobs in these large companies, they're not discriminated. And in fact, they are further supported with relevant care. This is a differentiating factor for these pharmaceutical companies and large conglomerates. And the cancer survivors will even have greater belonging to their company and loyalty to the company.
Do you have any additional thoughts, Fiona?
Thank you.
Okay. Richard, do you have any questions for Young-Sul-Care and their initiative?
Yeah, just one. But firstly, thank you very much. That was an excellent presentation. And also, it's great to see that you are so healthy and fully recovered from your own cancer experience, and you are the perfect example of what is possible with cancer patients. And I just wonder very quickly whether you are thinking about wider use of technology, using online learning and other tools to make a bigger, wider impact inside companies. But well done.
Great question, Richard. Let's give the Korean team some time to answer.
이 워크숍 자체는 사실 대면으로 했을 때 가장 큰 효과가 있을 수 있겠지만
It is most impactful when it's face-to-face, but recently we have realized the importance of online learning and offering these programs. People can participate online, and these 40 questions can be answered and responses can be collated, and companies can put the results on the website as well of how their staff respond to these questions. So we are about to bring more greater societal change.
Appreciate that response.
Thank you.
Thoughts, Richard, based on that? No? Okay. All right. So with that, let us move on. Great pitch by Yeon Sul-Khae. Let's move on to the next pitch. This is going to be by a team from Taiwan, the Hope Foundation. Now, the Hope Foundation's activities include cancer advocacy, education, family services, and networking. Their project focuses on fertility after cancer treatment. Let's hear all about their project right now. This presentation will be spoken in Mandarin Chinese with English subtitles. Let's take a look.
Hi, 我是癌症希望基金会的执行长米蕾。癌症希望基金会在台湾已经成立超过20年，这一次很荣幸入选 RCA 的计划，与其他5个团体一起展现台湾癌症病友组织的努力。Hope 在全台湾的北、中、南都设有希望小站，提供癌友跟家属从确诊后到康复期所需要的资源。而且我们跟国民健康署合作，在全台湾的医疗院所设立了83家癌症资源中心，提供癌友跟家属更容易取得的服务和资源。我们出版超过35种卫教手册，近年也致力发展数位工具，包括影片、Live Chatbot、APP， 期待能增进癌友及家属对疾病的了解，与提高他们的生活品质。除了提供癌友直接咨询服务、发展卫教资讯之外，针对癌友不同的权益 ，Hope 也努力为癌友发声与争取。我们看到了育龄癌友在面对生育问题时遇到的困境与挣扎。在台湾，每年新诊断癌友中约有18%处于育龄期，预估人数接近2万人。随着医疗技术不断进步，癌后存活率提升，生殖技术也越来越成熟，加上多数民众晚婚晚生，让癌友生育能力保护问题得到越来越多人讨论并重视。因此 Hope 自2013年起开始关注癌友生育健康。2019年 Hope 的调查研究发现，近60%癌友在治疗后仍有生育意愿，而且有40%癌友表示没有得到充裕的生育资讯，也就是高达12000名的育龄期癌友治疗完成后仍会考虑生育问题，但多数没能在治疗前得到完整的生育资讯，可能因此留下遗憾。Hope 看到了癌友在生育问题上的痛，深深感受到必须弥补资讯落差，提升癌友与家属以及医疗人员对生育的重视。因此在2020年
Hope 率先建制完成台湾第一个癌友生育健康资讯平台，内容包含生育决策自我探索，并有故事分享以及生育健康卫教资讯。2021年，我们则从医疗人员着手，积极与各医学会沟通，发展了4个专科的癌症病人生育能力保护共识宣言。然而，癌友生育健康倡议是一条漫长的道路，我们还有许多需要改善与加强的地方，因此非常期盼能得到 RCA 的支持。2022年 Hope 癌友生育能力保护计划将以优化癌友生育健康资讯平台为主要核心，此外，并将持续强化与医疗人员的沟通。癌友生育健康资讯平台是唯一一个聚焦于癌友生育议题的网站，提供完整生育资讯。2022年 Hope 希望将癌友生育健康资讯平台打造成台湾内容最丰富的一站式平台，无论是哪一个阶段的癌友，都能对应找到适合自己状况的完整卫教资讯与各式资源，并与专家合作，透过学术研究来帮助更多在生育议题上碰到困难的癌友。同时，我们会访谈更多癌友，在平台上分享他们生育决策亲身经验与心路历程，让其他育龄的癌友能参考更多实际经验，帮助他们更能审慎评估与考虑生育问题。发展男女性癌友生育就医提问单 QPL，癌友能勾选想询问的问题，客制化属于自己的提问单，下载于手机中，帮助自己反思，同时也方便与医疗人员沟通。另外 Hope 仍将携手专业医师，让癌症病人生育能力保护共识宣言刊登于各医学会官网，提高专科医师对于癌友生育议题的重视，并落实于临床诊疗上。此外，我们将把癌友生育保护加入癌症资源中心的专业人员训练课程中。2022年举办2场，每场预计有90名癌资专业人员参与，让全台湾83家癌资人员都具备帮助育龄癌友的专业能力。过去癌症病人的医疗较专注在治疗疾病，可能忽略生育议题，错失决策良机，留下遗憾。Hope 从病人端看到癌友的需求，希望透过医病共同把关，落实自主生育决策，在抢救癌友生命之外，同时未雨绸缪，考虑到未来生机。不可讳言，台湾癌友生育保护仍在启蒙阶段，希望在 RCA 的支持下，让 Hope 更有能力帮助癌友。守护癌友生育健康，需要你的支持。
A very interesting pitch. I'm sure everyone agrees. Focusing on something, again, kind of like one of the sides of the puzzle that none of us really thought about, or, that society by and large pays attention to, is the fertility health of cancer patients, especially after they are treated. Let's talk to the judges and see if they have any questions for Hope Foundation. All right, so perhaps we will start with Fiona. From a pharmaceutical standpoint, what are your thoughts regarding their initiative in Taiwan?
Thank you. Such an interesting topic for both men and women. I think we forget sometimes that fertility for both sexes is really forefront for patients and really important. The website that you've developed sounds really comprehensive, so terrific, so much information. As you develop new content for it, how will you drive consumers, patients, and other interested people to keep viewing that new content so they don't think I've looked at it once and I've got everything I need to know?
That's a great question. Let's see what they say.
We update our website periodically
as I said earlier, and we upload new patient story, and we also continue to develop new information, and we work together with clinicians to update the patients with the latest information to continue attracting their attention.
That's a great question. That's a great answer, Claire. Yeah. Do you have any other additional thoughts, Fiona? All right. Excellent. Thank you. Let's move on to Kathy. What are your thoughts with regards to the fertility health of cancer patients?
Thanks, Aman. Again, a great initiative when cancer patients already have so much to think about. Having this website, one-stop shop, with all this credible information, research-based information that they can go to will be really great. Similar to Fiona's question, how will you promote the website? Are there any other channels that you will use to promote the website?
Great question, Kathy.
We'll continue partnering with frontline clinicians and medical professionals because they have direct contact with patients and they have the most up-to-date information. And I will also pass on our information from our website to clinicians, so the clinicians can refer patients to our information, and through this, patients will be empowered to know more about cancer and how they can ask questions when interacting with medical professionals. And we are doing this in the hope that this can make communication between patients and clinicians more effective and more efficient. So they ask the right questions and get their answers.
Great response there, Claire. All right. Let's move on to Richard. Richard, do you have any questions with regards to their initiative?
Look, firstly, I'd just like to say that it's I like all of these presentations so far. This is a wonderful initiative in a very real area of challenge for patients. My question is around not patients, but their partners, their husbands or their wives, and they can sometimes be, in my experience, sometimes be nervous and concerned because they don't really understand, they don't know the health or the status of their partner, but they also still have a desire to have children. And I wonder if your work includes what your experience of dealing with the partners, the husbands, the wives, and whether your website and your initiative takes care of them as well and their understanding of what's happening.
Great question, Richard. Let's see what they say.
Well, the platform we provide is not only for patients, it's also for patients' family, their partners, their family members. There's SDM activities to help family members of patients to think about things they haven't given thoughts of. So it is intended to help patients and their family to get more resources and have more thoughts about the treatment and their journey. So they can read about other patients' stories to reflect on their own experience and gain a new perspective and direction.
Okay, great response there, Claire. Any thoughts from any of the judges before we move on?
I should ask one final question, which is whether men or women are more sensible about this discussion, or whether I suspect that women might be more sensible and more responsive to this, but I'll ask the question.
Well, at this point in time, I think the majority is female patients because fertility issues have a bigger impact on women. However, we can say that fertility is a topic that concerns both men and women. And we have also encountered many male patients who had fertility issues and they came to us for advice. We have many male patients who shared their experience and advice to fellow patients. But overall, I think female patients are more proactive, but male patients are also an important part of this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Claire. And thank you very much, judges. All right, let's move on. What a great pitch once again from Hope Foundation. Right. And let's have a look at the next pitch from Breast Cancer Network Vietnam.
Have you ever been in this situation? Have you ever had a wife, a sister, a friend in this situation and heard stories about removing breast from them? I do. I do witness a lot of women in Vietnam physically and psychologically suffer from breast cancer when they had to remove their breast, including my sister, when I saw the scars, big scars on her chest when she was alive. In Vietnam, there are many women choose to be flat because the surgeries of reconstruction does cause a packet. And more important, mastectomy bras are not available in the local market. Do you know how Vietnamese women invent solutions to make a breast path for themselves? They use gauze, socks, everything around them they can insert on their bras. And special, look at this one. This is the bras we gave a woman in 2015, and until now, she is still wearing it. Since 2014, we have ordered brought nearly 1,000 sets of mastectomy bras and prostheses and facilitated women in over my country. We got feedbacks. We recognize there are 3 big challenges stop women buying this bra. The first one is price. The price of single bras is definitely expensive. We did order them from the countries like Australia, the USA, the German. It costs about $35 to $50, excluding shipping to Vietnam. Sadly, most Vietnamese women cannot cope with this price. The second one is design. The design doesn't match the local expectations. The consumer taste between Vietnamese and European people is pretty different. They want like a neutral color and really basic design, whereas Vietnamese or Asians are more colorful. Furthermore, the radiation and surgery can cause a skin feel burn and super sensitive in this area. So the bra's fabric needs to be soft, and for Vietnamese women, it's required extra soft because of Vietnam is a tropical country and such a hot weather. And the third one, in the more challenge ever, is culture barrier. In Vietnam, breast or breast cancer is an avoidable topic because it still relates to the bulk of sensitive women's body and remind people about sex. It's truly a taboo that challenges women to speak up, to ask for help, to reach out to get a support like to order or to buy a bra to wear. To solve this problem, we create and we customize a bra and a pair of breast pads is the best combination of beauty and comfort and affordable price for Vietnamese women. We spent nearly 2 years to learn, to research, and to develop this product. In early 2020, we also cooperated to a local company to produce this product. And to me, myself, I spent time to learning and formally put my name on Lingerie Academy to learn how to design and how to sew this bra, and join a lot of workshops abroad to learn how important wearing bras for women with mastectomy. And we hope that we can create this product that I make completely in Vietnam to meet a massive demand. And for you, this bra may be a normal item, but it's truly important to women with breast cancer. And this bra is not seem like a piece of fabric or clothes. It is a comfort, it is a support, and it also the confidence. And your money invested in this project is not just only produce a bra, it also bring hope for the women in the journey with breast cancer. So please vote for us and support us to run this project and to bring more comfort, support, confidence, as well as hope for the women suffer from breast cancer. Thank you.
What a great pitch. I mean, focusing so much on the confidence, on the, the self-esteem of patients with breast cancer. I think it's truly remarkable. So once again, Breast Cancer Network Vietnam is basically a group that aims to increase the importance of early detection of breast cancer. They also work to improve the quality of life of patients and survivors. So after watching their pitch, let's talk to the judges and see if they have any questions. All right, judges. Richard, maybe we'll start with you. Do you have any questions with regards to their initiative?
Yes, I do. But firstly, congratulations on a wonderful initiative. I think it's so important for women everywhere who go through breast cancer, and particularly mastectomies, unilateral or bilateral. Can I just ask you, will the program, once it's up and running, will there be enough money coming in to make it self-sustaining? Will you be able to keep running it without external support, and or will you need ongoing support to keep it running?
Thanks for your question. So actually, that is the biggest concern ever when we are building or design this project. But actually, then our team also to design this time to call for donations. First one, like we call for action from people get our press and press pad as well. And another side, because we are a non-profit organization, so we can run the small project to fundraising as well.
Yeah, here.
So combine the money, we also get the support from patients who get the support and the public support as well. And on the other hand, we also because I told you and we wrote on our proposals, because we wish to building sustainable. So we wish when we at the second stage, we can improve our product. And that means we can sell in the market. So for the people, they can they can confidently with financial situations, so they can buy it. But if for people with low income, we support for free for them. But on the other hand, we also do activity for fundraising to make our project sustainably run in the long term.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard and Tien. All right, Kathy, what are your thoughts with regards to the initiative?
Thanks, Aman. What a great initiative that will have, a real and immediate impact once, patients receive the mastectomy bras. So I think that's great. And the comparison that you made with the current available options in regards to affordability, comfort, and fit, I think it really shows how important your initiative is. So well done. My question was, in the proposal, I read about the pay it forward method, and I was wondering if you could share more about that.
All right. So in our campaign on marketing campaign, so we call people for action because, for people, we not really set how much people had to make a donation, but we willingly to have people whatever they can pay. So we call the campaign like Pay It Forward. And another hand, we also call for support like if you donation for a small package, like about just $10 or $15. So you can help people, help a single woman. I mean, like we just focus on the key thing like here, like maybe with the men like readers or men as well who are watching the pitch, maybe they just don't know how important the bra for the women, you know, because for women we are here. Like if we are change the just only bra, we will change the whole our total wardrobe, and maybe we change our wardrobe, our totally the world, our surround change. So to women, it absolutely changed. And we just forgot on the thing like here, because in Vietnam, women is a key person in the family. So if people donate the money to support the women, we not only support the patient only, we support the function like mom, sister, you know, and the whole family return her when if she has happy. So support the single women, we support for the whole family be happy. So it's how important you donate a single or just small amount of money, but that it will be really huge impact for local community and for Vietnamese as well.
Very good, very cool. Fiona, 30 seconds on the clock. Any thoughts?
I have many, longer than 30 seconds. Terrific project. I love things that are locally manufactured. Question, how fast could you scale up if you had everything at your disposal?
Sorry?
How quickly could you scale this program up to be able to make many more bras if you had everything you wanted?
For last five seconds. So at the first stage, we just produced. Can I just still keep talking?
Yep. You can just finish your sentence.
Okay. So for the first day in last year, I told you before, like we just prototyped just about 100 sets of gifts. But in this second stage for this time, so we wish we can make a double, and for professors for 4 times for them the last time. But when we improve it and we've done a finish, and we wish like we can totally make a perfectly tailored product, and we can produce the market with the massive product ever. So I just think like maybe in the next time, like Australia will be the market we target on.
Very cool. Thank you very much, Tian. And thank you, judges, for your time. Truly appreciate it. Now that you've seen all the teams and their project pictures and ideas, we'll be giving the judges some time to discuss and to decide on the winners. Now, while we give them a few minutes to do that, we'll be asking all the people, just whoever's watching, the viewers at home right now, to vote for their favorite team. And the favorite team will be awarded a special prize at the end of this segment. All right, so you only have a few minutes to do this. Now, to vote, you will see on the right-hand side of your live stream window the poll to vote for your favorite team. If you're in full screen mode, you will need to go back to the website to access the poll. And you will have only until the end of this segment, which is about 5 or 7 minutes, to vote. And once you voted, you can also take the time to take a short break, grab a drink, and have a stretch. Okay, so once again, you have to have a look at the right side of the live stream window for instructions on how to vote. The poll is right there. All right, now we will be announcing the winners once the timer is up. The timer will start right now. Now, for those of you who are still online, I will be putting on a special show for all of you. So, those of you who want to get up and stretch, you can go ahead and do that. But if you're still here, I want to show you something pretty cool. All right, let's see if this mic is on. And it is. Okay, so I do a little bit of magic. Okay, this is what I do. And honestly, watching all the amazing pictures today reminds me a lot of this. This is a card with a hole in it. You can see that. I got a card with a hole in it. And this represents, I think, a lot of the problems that are plaguing the society with cancer. And why we're here today for Pictures for Pinicle is to sort of figure out how can we fix this gaping hole in our society, right? How can we fix this problem? Now, you can look through it. You can see that it is indeed there. But all of us coming here to fix the problem through the pitches hopefully will help us to heal that hole so that it no longer exists. Now, hopefully, if everyone is able to, get all their pitches off the ground, I think that will be amazing. I can't wait to see all that happen. Right, so check this out. This is the the four-sided two-sided die. I'm mixing myself up. The four-sided two-sided die. Check this out. I got one spot here, two spots here, three spots here, and four spots here. Now, this is actually a really simple illusion and something that you can do at home. And I'll tell you how this relates to what we're doing today, okay? So, this is all about perspective. Being kind of cheeky, right? So what I do is I cover this dot and it looks like there's only one. And I flip it over and on the back side it looks like this. I'll show you guys, right? So I cover this and it looks like one. And then when I flip it over, it looks like two. All right? But obviously I'm just covering, right? And then when I flip it over like this, it looks like three. And then when I flip it over like this, it looks like four. Now, why am I talking about this? Because it has so much to do with what we're doing. We want to add value to cancer patients and their lives. And in order to do that, we need to take big steps forward. We need to put our ideas out there and take action. And only then will we be able to create real value. And then once real value exists, we'll be able to scale up and move on and affect the lives of other people. And when you're able to do that, you can ultimately achieve ultimate value. So I wish all the teams all the best into getting their projects off the ground. Now, I'd like to invite someone to help me out here. Can I call, let's see who we have here. Can I call Kelly from Rare Diseases South Africa? Kelly, are you there? How are you doing?
And you?
I'm good. I'm going to show you something pretty interesting, Kelly. I have behind me here a little table with a Rubik's Cube, okay? And I have a Rubik's Cube, another Rubik's Cube right here. Oh, that was just gravity. I have ensured that gravity works, Kelly. You don't have anything to worry about. Now, this Rubik's Cube, you can zoom in real quick, Jason. Do you know how many permutations there are for a Rubik's Cube, Kelly?
Oh, gosh, my maths is not great, but it'll be 9 times 6. Which is
well, I think it's a little bit more than that. A quick Google search will show that there are 52 quintillion ways to mix up a Rubik's. Yeah, 52 permutation, 52 quintillion. That's 52 billion ways. So if I turn it like this, that's 1 out of 52 quintillion. Turn it this way, that's another one. Now, if you were here, I would give you this and you can mix this up. But since you're not, you're quite a bus ride away from Singapore. What I'll do is I'll ask you real quick, Kelly, give me a number from 1 to 20. And based on that number, I'll mix it up according to that number. Go ahead.
17.
17. So check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. That's the last time I will touch this cube. Is that fair? If you said another number, we'd be another 1 out of 52 quintillion. So zoom out again, Jason, and I want everyone to see here. I have a cube that's been sitting here. It's actually behind me the whole time, but I'll take it right now. What are the odds, do you think, that just one of these sides will actually match? It's going to be 1 in 52 quintillion, right? But that's exactly what it feels like to do work in the cancer field, right? To help people is almost like achieving the impossible. Have an exact match, but not just on one side. We have a match on 2 sides. Do I hear 3? Yes, you want 3? I'll give you 3 sides. We have 3 sides matching, 4 sides matching, 5, and ultimately 6 sides in total matching. And this is only because all of us have actually taken the time to come together and figure out how do we solve this problem called cancer. And when we do that, then and only then can we actually achieve real solutions.
Oh, wow.
All right, let's give Kelly a big round of applause. Thank you so much. All righty. Well, Yes, I'll use this now. Our time is up. If you haven't voted, please vote now. Okay, I don't know if the poll is still open, but please vote now. We'll hope that your favorite team wins today. Okay, so
off the sound again because I muted the computer, so you'll be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now that our timer is up, let's have a look at the judges and have a look and see if they have any final remarks about the pitches.
We're back, Aman, and we thought we would start with we'll each talk about two of the contestants, and we thought we might start with Fiona, if that makes sense. Does it? I don't want to do your job for you, Aman, but we had a quiet little conversation while you were not there, so
no worries.
Yeah, amazing. We were really just talking about how innovative each of the teams were in how they presented what they were trying to tackle with different patient groups. The palliative care issue, very close to my heart, having worked in palliative care in Australia, and it is such an important and under-recognised issue, not only in India, I would say almost every other country in the world. And I think the way that this is being tackled could really be best practice that could be rolled out in almost any other country that you could think to mention. And I think there's huge scalability and rollout for this project with the team. So really, really important work, great emotive articulation of it, and just congratulations to the team in the work that they're doing and continue to do. So important for patients and their families in helping people have a good death, which is hugely important for everybody in society. So thank you.
So is it okay if I go next with the next?
Yep, go ahead, Kathy.
Yep, sure, thank you. So the next one is King Hussein. But before I talk about that, I also wanted to say congratulations to all 6 teams that have done such an excellent job. In addition to the pictures that we saw today, the proposals and hard work behind it is just really great to see. And just be really proud of yourselves because you're tackling such complex issues, but such important issues. So just in regards to King Hussein's Cancer Foundation and their initiative to raise awareness about the importance of breast cancer screening. This is such an important initiative, particularly in the area that they're targeting, which has a high rate of refugees. And so I think that's so important to help, people navigate the healthcare pathway, to raise importance about prevention, and so getting that screening done. And I think utilizing community health workers and sort of sharing patient experiences, like you did in the presentation, which was really touching, I think that can really have a huge impact. So well done. I think I'm also talking about the next one, which is rare disease, South Africa.
That's right.
Yeah, so this one was so eye-opening for me to hear that there's currently not a registry for rare diseases, and how challenging that makes it to do research, to do advocacy, to share information with patients with rare disease. So really congratulate the team on thinking of a really important initiative, but also combining that with addressing the key issue of, when there are issues with losing medical records or health records, making that really patient-centered, and giving them the ability to hold on to their medical records for better treatment, no matter what happens, and also in circumstances where, different health professionals might not have that information at hand. So I think just being able to combine the two, a registry, which is going to have such sustained impact for advocacy, research, and additional funding, as well as that sort of patient focus and a product for the patients themselves. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Kathy. And Richard, I think you'll be sharing your thoughts on Breast Cancer Network and Hope Foundation.
Yes, I am, and when I'll do Hope, and then I'll do breast cancer, and then go back to Fiona for Korea, maybe, I don't know. But the whole issue around fertility and cancer treatment is something that we confront as part of Rare Cancers every day. It's an important issue, particularly obviously for those diagnosed young. They've got so many other things that are they're full of anxiety, they're full of stress, and right in the middle of this is not only you're being treated for a life-threatening disease, but then you're also worried about whether, assuming you get through that whether you can have the family and the world that you and your partner have imagined. It's absolutely critical to this whole health and well-being, and I love the idea of it. I think it's just great work that Hope Foundation is doing, and I also love, as a totally aside, I love the name of your organisation. If you walk into our offices at Rare Cancers, the first thing you see is a great big word that says Hope, and I think that's a lot of what we do in patient care and patient support. The other organisation, before I go back to Fiona for the last one, is the Breast Cancer Network of Vietnam, and that is such a precious, important piece of work. I've been up close and personal with breast cancer patients many times in my life, and that whole issue of femininity and comfort is so absolutely critical, and being able to resume your place in fashion and style and clothes, it's just so important, and I think well done to them. And I'll go back to Fiona for the Korean one, but well done everybody, right.
Thanks, Richard. So just to talk about the inclusive workplace environment of the project that we heard about from South Korea, really, as I said in my first comments, to think about bringing people back to work, not just as a health issue, but as a social issue, is really powerful. And I think a lot of people forget that. And I think many of us have tripped over in conversations with people who are coming back to work, whether they're friends or colleagues, and we don't know how to tackle those conversations and just normalise them being back in the workplace and enjoying good health so that they can come back and have all those social interactions and all the things that make life so important, to feel connected and to feel valued and just to get back to people again feeling good. So I thought this was such a wonderful project and such an interesting and innovative way in how we should be thinking about interacting with people who have had a range of illnesses, and we can welcome them back into the workplace with great conversations and strength. So thank you.
And can I just say, before we get to the business end of the day, Amanda, that all of us as judges, and I know I've spoken to all the coaches, and there will be one winner tonight, but ultimately we will work really hard to make sure that all of these projects are funded. And we are a formidable bunch, so we will do our very best to get support for all of you. You've just blown me away. It's been fantastic. I'm so proud of all that we've done, and in giving you a platform to present these wonderful ideas. It's extraordinary.
Absolutely amazing. I couldn't agree more with the remarks from all the judges. And now comes the moment that I think all of us have been waiting for. Richard, I shall pass the floor over to you.
Thank you, Aman. And I am really thrilled to announce that the winner of Pitch for Pinicle in 2021 is Breast Cancer Network Vietnam. Congratulations You've done an amazing job. We're really, really thrilled for you. It's such a wonderful, wonderful initiative, and congratulations. And you even get confetti. There you go. So that's fantastic.
Congratulations. All right. And Richard, what you want to tell us a little bit about what the other teams will be walking away with today?
Yeah, so we didn't think it. We love the fact there can only be one winner, but there doesn't have to be losers. So Breast Cancer Vietnam will walk away with $15,000 and all of the other 5 contestants will walk away with $6,500 each. And as I said, a pledge to make sure that you will have all our support to make sure that we get you all the funding that you can to implement these products. We're so proud and grateful that you came and you participated, and really just love all your work, and just so proud that you've chosen to be associated with us, and thankful. So it's really great. And I could babble on for ages, but I might go back to him and see how he's going with his Rubik's cubes.
Thank you very much, Richard. So yeah, I think everyone did a great job. I think all the teams did absolutely stunningly, and I think a lot of the input from the judges was truly eye-opening as well. And now we come to a bonus award, which is the People's Choice Award. And before I get into this, I just want to congratulate all the teams once more for their amazing effort. And congratulations as well to the Breast Cancer Network for winning, this particular competition. I think I personally loved your pitch, and I think that it's going to go a long way. I can't wait to see it materialize. And now, the People's Choice Award, this is voted by the viewers. They have submitted their vote via a poll. And the winner of this prize will go home on top of their 6.5K that they already have, just by working really hard to pitch today. They're going to go home with an additional $2,000, which is the award for the People's Choice Award. And the winner is Hope Foundation from Taiwan. So congratulations, Hope Foundation from Taiwan. You have won an additional $2,000 for being the People's Choice. Maybe we'll just take a few minutes to speak to our winners real quick before we move on. So maybe Hope Foundation, you have any words you'd like to say?
非常感谢台湾的大家跟我们一起进行这一次的计划。那我们也会持续在育龄的还有生育的道路上面努力。是我们
fertility education for cancer patients. We will also keep improving and updating our platform, our network, and also communicating with the clinicians. So we hope that we can support the cancer patients when hope that they are not anxious, so they can think of more opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's hear from our grand prize winner from Breast Cancer Network Vietnam. Any remarks?
So actually, I'm really happy to win, but as you say before, like there are no loser. And I had to say thank you for Pinicle, particularly the team of Pinicle, like Christina, and the wonderful coach from the support from you as well, like the Holy Master. She did absolutely the wonderful support ever for our team. And I had to say like a lot of volunteers to join me as well, to join Breast Cancer Network Vietnam to support our road and to building up the video and a lot of materials. And thank you to Yang and I had to Vietnamese name, people in my team. And a lot of people in my team to support me because I am here to standing for our team to Breast Cancer Network Vietnam and a lot of women in Vietnam as well. And thank you for support and vote for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Tian. And once again, congratulations to everyone who actually made a difference today, who worked up, who worked a lot just to make this pitch happen. I want to congratulate every single one of you. As everyone has said so far, there's no losers here today. All of you are winners simply for wanting to make a change in the world. I'm now going to pass the floor over to Richard to close us off and share with us some parting words.
Yeah, thanks, Aman. Thanks again. And thank you, firstly, to Aman for doing a wonderful job of emceeing this. When we try to work in the region, we need to embrace that we have to work in multiple languages, in multiple countries. And for someone to run an event like this, Aman has done a great job of dealing with all the differences that we bring to the same cause, to looking after patients. I need to thank some people. I really need, and we all know that this would not have happened if Christina Cho had not been the person that she is. She's extraordinary. She's spent so much time working so hard to make this work as perfectly as it has. And I'm so proud that she chose to come work for Rare Cancers and run this Pinicle program. And I think it's only going to get bigger and better over the next little while. I want to thank the teams, all 6 of you, and all of the others who didn't make the finals for entering. It's wonderful. It's designed when we thought about building this pitch for Pinicle. We wanted to provide an opportunity for people to showcase their ideas and their projects, and it's worked out perfectly in that way. And we hope that it will just get bigger and bigger. And just because you entered this year doesn't mean you can't enter next year as well. So thank you for that. It's been wonderful. I want to thank the coaches. I know that all of your coaches have put a lot of effort into helping build really good, solid proposals. You've done brilliantly well. I was sitting here reading the proposals thinking, my goodness, some of these are better than I've ever put together. Most of them are better than I've ever put together. So it's really first-class work, and thank you for all of that. And thank you to our sponsors, without which we just wouldn't be able to do this. They're so gracious. They just trust us. They don't, we never have interference. We never have anyone trying to tell us how to do this. They just trust us to run Pinicle, and we're incredibly grateful to them every day for the work that they do and the integrity that they bring to the process, completely at arm's length. And finally, just to all of the RCA staff, we have a number of staff today, and they've done a fantastic job with all of the helping with the technology. That people like Adrian and Sean and of course we don't do anything without Dave Power. Is almost on our staff these days, and he's been directing and producing this in the background. So it's just been wonderful. Thank you all very much. And now, before I babble on too much, I'm going to hand back to Aman, and he can do a dignified, classy close, which is more than I could ever do. So thank you, mate, and back to you.
No worries. Thank you so much, Richard. I think you did a fantastic job. And I want to thank everyone for having me and for really showing up today. It really, I've hosted many events in my life, and it's so refreshing and so invigorating to actually be part of an event that wants to make a positive change in the world. My father was afflicted with cancer, so this hits home for me pretty hard. And I'm very happy to see that there are many support groups out there that are moving forward and want to take the next level of patient care forward. And I really appreciate that. I'll close off by saying thank you so much for joining us. This reminds me a lot of something that I saw the other day. We talk about thinking outside the box, right? Which is what we want to do when it comes to helping patients, when I think outside the box. If I wanted to drink this, I could drink it by putting this through the top. But the whole point of coming up with new innovative ways is to actually break the mold and to do things that have never been done before. That's the idea, isn't it? To create new solutions, to do things differently. And I think that's exactly what we are here for. So I want to wish every single one of the winners one more time, congratulations. And of course, cheers. So from Singapore, from Solve Entertainment, my name is Aman Al-Hamid. Cheers and take care.